Ron Garza. I'm the Associate Vice President for Workforce and Economic Development with UTRGV.
And Ron, we must start by saying just how much excitement is in the room.
Absolutely.
In this building. We're at the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation offices. There's been a news conference about a big an announcement, an exciting collaboration between GBIC, between the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, the City of Brownsville, UTRGV, and this private sector company coming in from Mexico. And when you gave your remarks, you said you can see and sense and feel and smell something very special happening in this city.
Absolutely. So, we're here today announcing our UTRGV second grant in a program that GBIC created called the Launch BTX grant program. I'm really raving to other EDCs all across the valley about this program, because what Launch BTX does, it uses type A EDC funds to really spur research as a way to incubate, grow, and attract businesses. So it is a different take on using EDC resources, and I absolutely love it. So what it does, it helps us work, UTRGV, with companies, private companies that are already in the area or coming to the area and actually expand the commercialization efforts of their product line. So, and I said in my comments today that something special is happening here because of programs like this. So number one, it really did take the administrators of GBIC, BCIC, the city, specifically GBIC, to think of a program like this. So it's innovative and compliant use of EDC resources. And again, there's a great resource in the community of UTRGV. We have tremendous capacity. So being able to leverage that and grow our research capacity and marry it is fabulous. But one thing that I'm particularly excited about a program that we do, and again, we use the term regional economic development quite often, but UTRGV's Office of Workforce and Economic Development, we administer a program called the Global Soft Landing Program. And I cannot rave more about this program, because our team, what they do, they work with international companies that wish to enter the US market. So we build their capacity and transitioning them to the US market, but obviously, being in the great region that we are working to attract them and keep them in the Rio Grande Valley. So again, this is an absolutely perfect marriage of this Global Soft Landing Program and the resources and the innovative spirit that the City of Brownsville and GBIC are doing to kind of bring all those economic ecosystem elements together. And again, where the magic comes in is just using creative use of resources. And that's what I'm really proud of, because again, they're leveraging the resources that already exist in the community and applying this creative, innovative program and kind of mixing it all together. So we've received two awards, and both of them have been with companies that are relocating to this area. And this company in particular, Future SQC, they're relocating to the City of Brownsville because of the efforts of this research grant program and our entrepreneurship and commercialization center. So really excited. We have many more in the pipeline. I think this is a model that EDCs from across the region can look at to really anchoring more industry here. And as I said earlier, we can use EDC funds, we can use university resources, but when you have private industry as vested into the process, that's where the real economic development magic happens. So very proud of it.
And obviously this company is going to be housed at the eBridge Center. Recently, just a few days ago, we had the visiting legislators on the Valley Partnerships Tour visit that center.
Yes.
And we had the panel discussion, and there were two representatives for the eBridge Center telling their story, explaining what it's all about. So I was watching everything that was happening afterwards, and Mr. Glenn Hamer, the president of Texas Association of Business, made a beeline to speak to Linda and speak to Nathan, and then I wanted to find out why he was so excited, so I interviewed him. And he just loves, as the story says, he just loves the fact that these entrepreneurs, these potentially, the great collaborations are happening with Mexico and the eBridge Center in Brownsville and the Rio Grande Valley. This can be the place. And just tying the two economies are interwoven anyway, but to help Mexico even more.
That's right.
If you want to speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So all EDCs of the Rio Grande Valley, I think, do a very great job attracting international companies. But one big difference to this program with the Global Soft Landing program is we're not only doing the attracting to the Rio Grande Valley, we're actually putting programming around building their capacity. So we're essentially turnkeying their process so they can go from the international Latin America market to the Rio Grande Valley. And as you heard today, there's many companies that have the intent and desire to come to the Valley. They just don't have the operational capacity. So that's where resources of UTRGV, and again, that's where eBridge is going to be a big part of building that infrastructure. Linda Ufflin and all her team that I'm really proud that work for our Office of Workforce and Economic Development, they've been doing this in a fluid environment for the last few years. So to have a home base like eBridge and collaborations that we're actually doing with other infrastructure parts of the Rio Grande Valley and city departments, I think that infrastructure across the valley is just going to grow. So eBridge is just a showcase of it, but I'm really excited that here in the next few months we'll actually be talking about other similar efforts that we're doing to make sure that we have the same type of capacity kind of home-based throughout the Rio Grande Valley.
One last question. You say that you've been telling the other EDCs what a great program this is. One, what's been the reaction? And two, if they follow GBIC's lead and put the funding in for a similar program in their city, they potentially can attract businesses too. Can the university cope? Do you have enough students and capacity to help them all?
That's a great question. So, the reaction has been very favorable. All EDCs and city managers in the Rio Grande Valley, we have such a great collaborative network. So they know what's happening at eBridge, and they all want one. That's for sure. They all want one, and they all can already see the value of that happening. And the only thing that I've been really strictly advocating for is building that internal capacity. So we want to make sure that we're outgrowing those facilities before we even get in there. So ensuring that we're growing the staff appropriately and the student body, that's really important. So what we've been focused on very particularly with the EDCs is how can we grow your staff presence here so that we're, UTRGV, we're not just kind of circulating and spreading too thin. And it's been very favorable, and again, we're really close. Over the late spring, we'll be announcing some endeavors that really help show the model of anchoring that presence. So again, very favorable reception.
Ron, thank you so much for today's interview. I've learned so much. Have I missed anything? Anything else you'd like to add about this?
No, I think that's a great start, but for your sake, Steve, just stay tuned because I mean this role's been fabulous. In my transition from the Council of Governments to City Manager, I really have that diverse perspective. So sitting here and being able to leverage the resources, the great resources that UTRGV has to build the capacity, at the end of the day, city recruitment, industry growth, financial incentives are nice, land availability is great, but workforce capacity. That's why businesses come here and that's why they stay here and grow here. So UTRGV is a big component of that.
Thank you so much for this interview.
Sure.